Hello, everyone. Welcome to Success Studio Live. I am your host, Tara LaFon Gooch. I'm the CEO of Best Branding Solutions. I'm also a keynote speaker and recently published author on the topic of confidence. So, I am doing a whole series on this show about confidence. And I've looked inside my LinkedIn network and other social media networks to find the best possible people to talk about this topic with me. So, guys, as we are talking, go ahead and drop in the comments where you're from, what city or state if you're inside the United States. If you're outside the United States, what country are you in? We love hearing from people from all over the world. But as well, let us know if anything particular is resonating with you. If you have any questions for myself or my guest about authenticity or confidence, we will address them after the show. And just a reminder, this series is going to be repurposed under a podcast called Grasp Confidence that just released last Sunday. So go ahead and subscribe on Apple Podcast. Without further ado, I have a very special guest with me today. The one, the only Lucy Lachaud has joined us from Dubai. And Lucy is an authentic performance coach, one of the best in the world. That's why she's on this show, guys. Lucy, I would love for you to introduce yourself, please.
Hello, guys, and hi, Tara. Thank you so much for having me today. It's an honor for me to be here and to talk about this topic, which is very close to my heart. So, thank you very much. As you mentioned before, I'm an authentic performance coach. So, what does that mean? Compared to a performance coach, the approach is a bit different. Instead of only focusing on skills and on short term goals, I focus more about self awareness, introspection, and reflection in order for you to get clarity and to understand who you are. And from that, we align your action and your decision based on what you truly want and who you truly are. So that's what I do. Before that, I was the head of finance in the pharmaceutical industry, and I was there very successful but feeling unfulfilled because I didn't align my choice with my true self. So I am here today to share the wisdom and give some tips in order to perform authentically and inspire people.
I love that. So you hit on a couple things already. I feel like a lot of people are living inauthentic lives. They're chasing somebody else's dream, somebody else's version of success. They're trying to be like other people. And ultimately, that doesn't make us very fulfilled and confident, does it, Lucy?
No, it doesn't indeed, and I think it's a lot of waste of your energy. You imagine every day if you have to go out and think, how am I going to talk to this person because I want to be like this and I want to show this. So it is a big waste of energy. And obviously, it doesn't procure any fulfillment out of that because you don't feel good. You're not in peace with your life and with your choices. You're always constantly trying to fit in something that is not you.
Yes, you're trying to fit in that's not true to yourself, right? And I think that's like, these are really important questions to ask ourselves. What do we really want? I mean, we can't look on the Instagrams of the world or even LinkedIn or any other place like that and compare ourselves and just want these general things that other people have. And maybe they're happy, maybe they're not. I think that's another thing too, Lucy, is we're comparing ourselves to other people, but are they even satisfied with life? Are they fulfilled, right? Don't you think?
I think so. And mostly with social media, you always see this beautiful picture, but you never really know what's behind the scene. And I fully agree with you. There is one question that I really like to ask myself. It's, do I like it, or do I like having it, or do I like how it sounds? You
Mm.
know? And this really put things into perspectives. Is it something that I truly like, that I am aiming for, or is it something that I like having for the title or for for the fame or for the anything that can be behind that?
Absolutely. In my video just went
Yes,
away. Hopefully it comes back on. I'm having a little bit of technical glitches here. Let's see.
yes, you're back.
Okay, perfect. No worries. We do workarounds. But absolutely, Lucy. So, we have to ask ourselves these things, right? And we can't compare ourselves to other people and expect to be successful. As a result, it just doesn't work. And what happens is that we again we start living somebody else's dream. We feel like we have to put on a mask to fit in and blend in. And ultimately that doesn't lead to a fulfilling existence. And no matter how much money you make, is it ever enough?
That is very true. I don't think it's, you know, success. I think there is a general question that is, what is success? We hear that everywhere. I really don't think this is how we should see the end goal. It's not success. Success, by definition in the dictionary, it's the achievement of a goal. It can be anything like making pasta tonight. This is a success. I did it and I had a good time. But I think it's more about the intention behind that and what for you is important. It's not the definition of the success itself, it's why did you make this goal at some stage to get that. And you are right. Then a lot of people and end up having a lot of money and this fame and this all of this money that we all want, let's say, or all think of it, and at the end they are not happy. And it's too bad, because what happened, you have a great career and you, after some years, you get bored and you lose the passion, and you're thinking, what am I doing here? And it's very hard because your whole environment has been built for on this person that you have tried to be. So it's not an easy place to be, for sure, but it's always good to reflect and to be aware of that, because it's the first step to actually change this and finally become who you truly are.
Yes, I love that. So, within your line of work, I'm assuming people come to you and, these are people in leadership positions. What are some of the struggles that they're facing? When someone comes to you and needs your services and needs your coaching, what are some of the problems that they're facing and how do you help them overcome?
There's a lot of problems, different problems. The first thing I would say is they are very reluctant to coaching at the beginning,
Mm,
because they are
yeah,
so caught. They're not, some people are not yet aware of their own situation.
yeah.
Nobody comes to me and say, hi Lucy, I feel I'm wearing mask every day and I want to change that. It's I wish it would be so easier to manage and to help them very quickly, but it's not that easy. They would come and have different symptoms. It can be a sense of emptiness. Someone who has a lot of money and feel empty, feel that there is something more that they want to do, but they don't know what. There's a lack of clarity. I don't know what is my next step. I don't know what fulfill me. I don't know what makes me happy. There is also a lack of joy and of contentment. For example, I spend time with my family, but I don't feel content anymore. I am at work, I don't feel contentment anymore. Like I want to feel happiness and I'm not feeling it. They are trying to feel. And this happened because when they make decision in the past, they focus on their conscious mind, which is all about visualization and all about logical choices based on your past experience, your belief, the way you have been educated, and everything. The way this works, it's by visualizing your future, and it's easy to visualize because you just put an image and you say, oh yeah, that looks good to be a CEO, let's say, okay? But what happens is, before taking action, you should be able to actually feel what it is and feel the success, not be successful, but feel the success. And that is the biggest challenges that they have. They are struggling to feel.
Mm,
And the way we work together is that I have a mindset matrix tool that I use with all my clients, which is very powerful. It's a test that we do, they answer, and this test gives me the full matrix of their mindset. So we first work with their mindset, and this allows us to have conversation toward what is holding them back in this situation. I'm using this because, as I mentioned, for some people who are a bit reluctant or who are maybe not aware at all, which happens, some people are very not aware, not self-aware, sorry. It really helps us to have a tangible tool and to analyze those data. It's so great that it even goes to analyzing if the person asks genuinely the question or just to fake some answer to look good or to be competitive, you know. And once we have that, then we start working about self-awareness with question, with also realization, and asking the question. It's not only what do I like, it's more, when I look at my life, do I like what I see? Do I like the person that I see? If you're angry every day at work, do you like that? Do you want your kid to see you like this? Do you want to be this person? And it goes way beyond all of this from opinions and belief. And we have conversation from that, and we get a lot of clarity. Because the minute you start understanding your past experience, what you take from those experience, and the minute you start being very aware, you
Mm-hmm.
see your potential, you see yourself in a different way, but also you get clarity for the future because you think that is actually what I want to do. I was scared before, but now I realize I want to do that. So from self-awareness, we get the clarity, and when we have the clarity, together we set up an action plan, and I'm always there to make those actions because it's very easy to be self-aware, to get the clarity, but then when you want to take steps, which doesn't have to be extremely crazy steps, but when you want to be yourself and to be authentic, you face fear, and it's a big red block in front of you, and it's very 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 hard to just jump into it. So at this moment, I am with them, and I stand up with them in order for them to get there, but only because it's their choice. They have decided that intentionally, and that is very very important. That I think it's the main difference between authentic performance and performance coaching, is that we put an intention in the goal, so that it's a goal that really truly matters to them, which helps to be a bit less fearing also.
I love that, and that's something that I've always thought about authenticity as well. It's scary sometimes, right? You have to face your fears a little bit. You have to go after that unknown. This book was a good example for me. It's extremely raw, it's extremely authentic. I share my story openly, and it took a lot of courage. So I will say that, authenticity and vulnerability are not weaknesses. Those are courage motivators, right? They really motivate you to that courage level, that next level. But also, something that you said is interesting, is something that I firmly believe in, is just getting clarity on who you are. I feel like a lot of people don't take those steps of, again, just really understanding themselves. And I do a similar exercise where I have people drill down, what are your core values and beliefs? What do you actually believe in? And why? Right? Not enough people have really driven down, what do they really believe in? What do they value? And, for me, it's one of my core values is my top core value is love. If my top core value is love, it means that I treat everyone that I interact with respect. I go above and beyond to show kindness to others. I go above and beyond to help people. Love is not my top core value, and then I go ahead and have a toxic work environment and become a toxic manager. You see, you have to really know who you are and what you value. Freedom is another core value of mine. So that means I want freedom as far as financial freedom, but I also want freedom to work wherever I want to work. I want
Yeah.
freedom to associate with the people that I want to associate with, right? In the timing that I want to do it, and the freedom to create my own schedule. So really identifying this, like, basic elements of who you are and really getting clarity on them is exactly where you start with any goal, don't you think?
Oh yes, I agree fully with you. And and it doesn't come in one night, like you
Exactly.
can come back to it. And
Yep.
I know it's a message that we hear a lot to say, oh, you need to know your core value, it's not only this, it's just really me. For me, I use it, I reflect on my day and I look at it and I'm thinking, how did I spend my day, what did I do, how was I. It helps me to get this clarity. And I always ask myself, sorry, why, as you mentioned, I understand the reason behind things. There is also a very fun exercise that I used in the past, which is very helpful, I think, for values. And you tell me what you think, Tara. It's the storytelling. It's called the storytelling, and it's asking yourself, what is the last, first, worst, and best. And after those words, you put any word that you want. Let's say friend. Last friend, first friend, best friend, worst friend. Last meal, first meal, worst meal, best meal, whatever it is. And when you think of this and you can say the story in your head, you will be surprised how much information you get. Because you realize that maybe the worst friend, if you really ask yourself what happened and what was it, maybe it's because actually you didn't have the same value as this person.
Hmm.
This type of thing. So it doesn't have to be um, a constant work, but it's very interesting. And I agree with you to do it time to time and to reflect, because what would happen, and I think it's pretty common, we don't reflect. We go ahead with our life until we hit something, and then we don't really reflect, we don't really take control, because we it's scary again, and I agree with that. And we wait until an opportunity come, we go into another direction because we adapt, we think, oh, actually that doesn't look that bad, so I go there until it hits. But there is a point where, and I think, I don't know, but I feel like it's mostly when we get to 50, 60, if we didn't take this step before, where we are starting to think of what happened after work, because we're not our work anymore. And we don't know. We
Mm.
don't know because we didn't actually enjoy our true self before. So it's really difficult to know yourself in that situation.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack, but absolutely. Oh my gosh, please don't wait until the end of your life to live it. That is so true. My gosh, say it from the rooftops, right?
Yeah.
People are retiring and then they're saying, who am I? Who am I? Because they've associated themselves with a particular job or title. And once that's no longer relevant to their lives, they don't even know who they are because they've placed their identity on something. It
And they worse even.
and what's that? I'm sorry.
And they're worse also.
Yes. Yes. So the titles that we have, the amount of money that we make, where we work, it's not who we are as individual people, right? Finding who you are as an individual. And this is a very personalized approach. This is not some, cookie cutter thing. Everybody is totally individualized and, gets, that individual approach because everybody is different. But the last thing we all need to do is to put our identity on something or someone else. And I feel like so many people do that too. And it's not just with a career, with a title. Some people also put their identity on their children, their spouse, right? Their relationships with their friends. That if their friend or if their spouse or something happened, who would they even be? It's time to get authentic and really drill down to who you actually are as a person, right, Lucy?
Oh yes, I agree with everything that you're saying, and it's a very good point that you mentioned, that it's not only on the career, it's with everything. But there is something that I really want to mention that I think is important to understand. Being authentic doesn't mean that you have to be completely different from other people. I feel there is this myth that being authentic means I'm going to live in a street as a hippie or in another world because I want to be myself. and be an artist, and I want to be creative. And people take things to the extreme.
Yeah.
Be authentic can just be that instead of coming to a meeting and be angry, this time you listen to people and you actually care because it's who you are. And it's a small shift. But you know what I mean?
Yes, yes, small shifts. Just I liken human beings to an onion, right? So an
Mhm.
onion has a lot of layers. And just peeling back those layers slowly. You don't have to do it all at once. Peeling it back slowly and drilling it down to the simplest form of who you are, right? I like that, but it's you. And like you said, it authenticity doesn't mean you have to, go out there and be something completely different. It can be small steps toward authenticity, right?
Very.
So if sharing your story is in a book is too much, how about sharing a little bit in a post form, right? Getting people to know who you are on a different level with your social media network. Start showing up a little bit more authentically in your approach at work and how you communicate. I just see it so often where people think they just have to be somebody completely different at work and at home and vice versa, and it leads to this internal conflict and struggle, and ultimately unhappiness and unfulfillment and a lack of sense of direction and purpose, right?
Mhm. Yeah, completely. Because there is this image towards that it has to be very, very, like a very big, like a big step, which is it's not this. And that's actually the reason why I do this job, is because I want to spread this message that it's okay to be yourself, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a marginal or someone that is completely different. It's just standing for who you are and your values, and you'll feel so much more at peace with yourself and at peace in your life. All this angriness or this regrets, all of those feelings. It's just an easy way of thinking and an easy tool to reflect on yourself and to ask yourself, am I the person that I want to be? And am I following my values?
Yes, it's like your inner compass, right? That's what I liken it to. It's that compass, and you let it guide you. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Once you really drill down into what you really want, what you value, what you believe in, and why, that compass guides your decisions in life, right? And it makes actually life so much simpler. So you
Yes.
do a little bit of work up front to kind of drill down and figure out things, but then after that, you have a compass. And how valuable is a compass? It's everything.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So be authentic, and it leads to confidence, I believe. Now, your work with leaders and helping them become authentically led leaders, you see a transformation in their confidence too, right? You see them showing up a little bit differently. You see them. What else kind of happens with leaders who develop authenticity as far as confidence goes?
That's a very good question. I think they it's funny because some people would put a show, when
Mm.
they are not really authentic. So from an external point of view, and maybe for the employees, let's say if we're talking about leaders or business owners, if they constantly put a show, whenever they start being authentic, I think confidence is not something that people will notice straight away, because they will be like, oh, he's not shouting today, he's not talking very loud today. What is going on? It can be a bit confusing, for the people. But the confidence comes after that. It comes in the way they talk, the way they inspire. It's not. Confidence doesn't take the meaning that we think it is, which is, oh, I'm showing off and I know everything. No, it show more with charisma.
Mm.
Charisma to
Yes.
inspire other people. And that is really powerful when it happens, because all of a sudden you don't need to talk very loud, and all of a sudden you're actually listening to the people that you have in front of you, because this is what you're supposed to do, because you're not angry with yourself, you're not insecure anymore. You genuinely listen, and this brings such a charisma in the room. And this is where the confidence is shown the most, I think.
Oh, love that. So I believe confidence is gravitational. It's success. It's people start to get magnetized. So I
Mm,
do. I liken it charisma, as you say, like a magnet. People are drawn to you. People,
mm,
and you don't have to speak as loud. People hear you and want to hear you. They surrender. It, like I said, it's like almost as if you have the power of gravitation itself. People start coming to you, and instead of you going to them, you
mm.
start leading the show, and not even really, putting a ton of effort into it. It just kind of starts to come natural, and that's when you go from like leader to visionary.
Yeah,
Don't you
yeah.
think? It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
you go from that whole other end, and it's a game changer. It's a total game changer for a leader to be confident, don't you think?
Yes, it is. It is. And again, you, as you mentioned, you have this power now, which
Mm.
is to inspire people and to attract people. And as you mentioned, also, you said it's without a lot of effort, which is the beautiful thing because this is, I don't even know if we can call it that way, but the authentic confidence. Just normal confidence, confidence in you achieving something is different. But when it's coming from an authentic point of view or an authentic inside reflection, and you get this confidence, it is extremely powerful because it means that you really believe in what you're doing and who you are. And I think this really, really motivate people around you. And it's not only about your team at work, it's about people in general. Now people want to talk to you. People want to share with you their problem. People want to be like you. And it doesn't mean you're better than other people. It just means that you are finally in peace with who you are and you can express yourself freely. And that is such a beautiful place to be, isn't it?
It is. I love that. You're operating on a different vibrational level,
Oh
right?
yeah, completely
It's
yes.
something completely different. It's hard to describe, but you're at a different vibrational level when you're authentic, when you're showing up confident. And it really is. It's a magnet. You're a magnet to success. Opportunities just start to come to you. People from all over the globe, it seems, just start to come to you. People want that. They're drawn to it. So it's that charisma, right? That takes you again from that leader to that visionary level. And it doesn't have to happen in years' time. It can happen in a short amount of time. But it starts with getting clarity and who you are, what you really value and why, and who you are as a person, just drilling it down, and not worrying about what other people are doing, but figuring out who you really are. So important.
It is. And I think one of the main challenge that people can face, excuse me, in
Mhm.
this type of situation, whenever they start having this self-awareness and they really want to express themselves authentically, is to get the integrity to follow and to still stand for what they want. And here is where the confidence is a big component of authentically perform or being authentic in general, is that you will face moments where your values will become compromised, mostly at work. And if there are women listening, I know that at work you can compromise your value to get to another level or whatever it is. We hear that a lot. And this is where you, even actually in your relationships, some people can come, I don't know, someone with I don't know, a lot of money come to you. I'm saying this maybe because I'm in Dubai and this can happen, but it is true. You're facing every day um, some question about, is it my value or not? Am I going there just for the money, just for the fame, or just for whatever it is, or do I decide to stick to my value and stick to what I do? And here is confidence. Here is where confidence is important, extremely important. To build, you need to have integrity when you want to live authentically, and to do so you need to have confidence. Everything goes together.
I agree. Yep.
Mm,
It goes together. It goes together. I love that. In order to show up authentically, you need confidence, right?
totally.
So it's so perfect. And this is true confidence. I want to say that. So there's a lot of talk about arrogance and confidence, and I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking about true confidence. I'm not talking about being like somebody else. I'm talking about being the best version of you.
Mm.
So that's a big distinction there. This is not arrogance. This is true, authentic confidence, and it can only be built from within. It's so powerful. Lucy, wow, what a conversation! These are the quickest 30 minutes ever, right? I could talk all day, but it's like I love this. I have the best guests on the show. Thank you so much for sharing all of your pearls of wisdom and all of the gold nuggets about authenticity and performance coaching. Would you mind telling people how to get a hold of you, the best ways and methods so that they can reach out to you?
Of course. So I use my the LinkedIn platform a lot. So people can click on the link and book a call with me, but they can also DM me, text me on LinkedIn. I'm very available and I love meeting new people. So just do not hesitate to contact me. It will be my pleasure.
That's wonderful. And you're in Dubai, but you work with executives from all over the world. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct from all over the world. So there's no
Wonderful.
restriction.
Love that. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being a lovely guest. And thank you for everyone who tuned into the show today. We will see you on the next episode.